from coast to cruise.
Oh my God, that was so much fun!
Excited to have all of you here. So, you guys probably already know what we're building behind me, this big mammoth tower behind me. This is the nation's largest freestanding rock tower. So to put that into perspective, if you look behind me, you can see Sheikra kind of off in the distance. You take Sheikra, that's 200 feet tall, and then you put the Cheetah Hunt Tower on top of that, and then you put our Air Grover roller coaster on top of that. This is taller than all of them. So anybody who's been on Sheikra before, you know when you get up to the very top, you're looking down, everything looks really small. But on this ride, when you get up to the top, you're actually looking down on Sheikra. So it's a very unique, different perspective. So, you know, Sheikra up to this point has really been the big daddy for the park, but really that's just going to be a stepping stone to get up to the top of the tree. So, and not only is it tall, which, you know, you can see so much cool stuff. You'll see Orlando, you'll see St. Petersburg, Miami, you'll see it all. But once you get up to the very top, you'll ride in seats just like this over here. We'll take you up to the very top, very close to 300 feet tall. And then we'll tilt those seats 90 degrees straight down. So not only do you get the great majestic views up at the very top, but you get the earth-shattering views looking down at the ground. So we'll take you in those seats, tilt you, so you're looking down and you don't see anything else other than the ground down there. And you'll see a bunch of ants, and those are people because they're going to be so small. So once you get to that top there, not only is that going to be intense enough, but we also wanted to kick that up a notch. Because for Sheikra, anybody who's ridden on that, you know that we hold you up there for a certain amount of time. You can kind of count down mentally in your head how long it's going to be. But for this ride, we wanted to make that even more unnerving. So we're going to have a randomizer sequence up at the very top. So it may be 1 second we'll hold you, it could be 5 seconds we hold you. So we're not going to let you know we're going to drop you. We're not going to give you any, any chimes or anything like that. But we'll hold you up there and we're just going to let you go. Just like that. So we'll let you go and we'll just let gravity take over. So that's the way it works. It takes about a minute to get to the very top, and as we drop you, you'll free fall for 5 to 6 seconds. So when you guys get home, you should like scream for 5 to 6 seconds and see how long that is. That's a long amount of time. You almost have to like catch your breath because you're going to be screaming for so long. So the ride experience as you're dropping. So once you get to the top, you rotate your seats 90 degrees. As you're dropping, we'll rotate your seats back into the seated position as you're dropping before you hit the main brake rod. So if anybody's been skydiving before, you've seen skydiving before, this ride is just going to be as close to skydiving without getting onto an airplane. So as you're falling down, if you're skydiving, you pull your parachute, right? You pull your parachute and it kicks you back into your seated position as you're falling. So this will be very similar dynamic motion. You'll be falling, tilt your seats down, and then brake run as you're dropping. So it'll be unlike anything that you guys have experienced before. Really dynamic and really fun. So that's the ride experience in a nutshell. Some of the other nitty-gritty facts about the ride: we've got 32 seats in an octagonal fashion. They're in seats are grouped in rows of 4. So as you get to the very top, each of those sets of 4 rotates as you're falling down. It takes about a minute to get up to the top. Total ride experience is a little over 2 minutes. So it'll be a pretty good ride. The capacity for the ride is a little under 800 people an hour. The ride itself, you can see, is almost completely assembled up to this point. This past weekend we put the top cap up at the very top. So you'll see in the next few days our crane will be going away, and we'll start the process of getting all the electrical components terminated, getting everything rung in, and then we bring in the ride manufacturer to do their ride testing and commissioning. So, and what I'm looking forward to the most would be the first test ride for it. So I'm anxiously awaiting that day when we get to be on the first ride, the first drop, so to speak.
We're going to be so colorful and vibrant. When you walk into the new Pantopia, you will say, this is new, this is exciting, I want to be here. So you enter Pantopia right where the keys hanging from the ceiling as you go in. Once you those keys open, then you can go out and this is your entrance. We'll go from here into Transportation Plaza, where people that were here for War left their remnants of transportation and how they got here as relics. And what's inside? You'll see all of the leftover pieces that are highly decorated. And it might be an old busted down sheet. Or tuck it up. Let's go in and see what that's pretty fine gift shop. It was right here. So we torn it down. We're going to build a plaza so you can sit in it. This is the sitting place. Most importantly, when you walk through the key gate, you'll see the spectacular view of Falcon's Fury. I don't think anybody will be able to help themselves but look up at Falcon's Fury once they clear Pantopia. Now, our safety people are already talking about what happens in Pantopia when everybody's looking up. Are they going to be bumping into each other like bumper cars? So we know that everybody, including children, are going to be looking everywhere. You'll see part of the transportation plaza here, and the gift shop, of course, over to your right. Now, Brian Morrow is going to give you your own tour of the gift shop, which is the furthest along of all these areas. So you'll have 30 minutes with Brian. Okay? We're going to go back out the gate. We are now going to have the feast hall. And what better thing to have than the Dragon Fire Grill? You can have flames and fire and dragons involved. There's nothing better than that. So right to the left, we will have show cookies. We'll bring out our meat and things like that. And we'll be grilling them, so we'll have that aroma just going all through Pantopia. If you're not riding the ride, you're going to want to eat. So we'll give you a good chance to do it right here at the feast hall. And you can see how vibrant all that's going to be transformed into these rich colors and detailed theming. Pretty cool stuff. So it's kind of a beginner coaster for us. And we're going to have a large sculpture of a scorpion over there that you'll have to walk through. The kids will be wanting to get their picture taken with that.
Just as a note, guys, the feast hall is sort of a placeholder. The name may change.
Okay.
It hasn't been dubbed the feast hall quite yet. So, but it is Dragon Fire.
And they twist their tails and it makes it look like a pretzel, which inspired the baker here to make pretzels. So you can come in here and buy a variety of foods, including crafted beer, and it'll all be more aromas that we'll put into Pantopia. So let's go to the Jungala realm. So this again is highly decorated and will be your entry point into Pantopia. Behind me is the Timbuktu Theater, which will be converted to the Pantopia Theater, which will have an entirely new show. If you remember, it had a 4D theater in there where you'd see different films and it would interact with the seats. Now it's going to be a show with critters. So your household pets, the dogs and cats, some exotic pets, will be part of the show. So let's go in and see how we've had to tear that completely to the ground almost and rebuild it. The Dolphin Show, which we converted in 2003 to a 4D show. And with the 4D show, everything was on a big screen, so you kind of got to look up. But now with everything being on the stage with our animals, we had to rake the seating. So the back is actually brought up another 8 feet. So big piece of work going on right here. You're the first to see it too. Those other groups, this is the group that got to see it first. Okay, we're going to keep moving. Came through Pantopia with his tapestries and rugs, and some of them got left behind. So this will be the entry point from Jungala. Now this is kind of the end of the formal tour. What questions do you have of us? Retired, and a couple other games behind here. The back of house food service support have also been retired. Now, what I haven't said is the Harris Stacks is actually going to be removed, so that opens up this plaza so that you see the balance of our game. Okay. So we think that that'll be a nice enhancement. Plus the seating for pretzels, and kettle corn, and your smoothie, and your Dragon Fire. But there's still the Busch Flyers, that'll still remain. In the back, there's a motorcycle ride for the children that stays, and there's a train ride that we actually have enhanced, so it'll be a longer track and a better train ride. So those three still remain. So there's something for little children too.
The critter show that you were discussing, is that the same show that's coming, like Critter Castaway? Is it being moved or is it different?
Well, it's some of the animals will be the same. Some will be new animals, and it'll be an entire new script.
Okay.
This is a script where two people are trying to have a performance, and the animals are not behaving. So they're kind of rookie trainers, and they're kind of realizing that they don't know enough about training. But in the end, the good hearts of the animals see the dilemma they're in and say, we can help these guys, and they start to behave, and everything turns out well. And so as a guest, you get to see all this drama behind the scenes.
So good morning, my name is Brian Morrow. I'm the creative director for SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment. And today I'm going to share with you some information about our newest land and newest attraction coming to Busch Gardens Tampa, which is Pantopia. Now Pantopia is a made-up place that we created on our own as we expand our brand beyond simply the continent of Africa. You've seen us do it over the past few attractions and moving into a wider breadth of exotic cultures and stories that we can tell to bring really nature and imagination to our guests every day here at the park. So Pantopia is actually a place where travelers from around the world can come and take refuge, take pause, and have a moment to share their stories about their adventures from around the planet. It's also located at the heart of Busch Gardens. So our guests will also have that same experience where they can travel around the whole of Busch Gardens, and here in the center at the heart is Pantopia, where they can experience everything that Busch Gardens has to offer in one place. So there's a lot of influences from animals that are all in the collection here at Busch Gardens Tampa that our guests will get to see and experience. And there's also colors, style, and physical props from around the world that will bring Pantopia to life. Pantopia was really founded by one guy, and he arrived in his hot air balloon. And that hot air balloon crashed right here on this tower, which we call the Key Gate, right into Pantopia, and he became the key master. So he has all the keys right here in this gate that open all the doors of Pantopia. And us, as travelers, can simply come here, get a key from him, and stay as long as we want and experience all that Pantopia has to offer. There are themed doors all around the land of Pantopia that tell the stories of the permanent residents of Pantopia. Everything from a tea salesman to a guy that's really obsessed with elephant, little collection of elephant tchotchkes, to the navigation lead, which actually his door is right here, and he actually has all the navigation gear for people that are traveling to and from it in Pantopia. And inside of Pantopia is not only Falcon's Fury, the super extreme thrill ride based down 335 feet. Really an amazing ride attraction. But we're also rebranding and cleaning up and kind of repositioning all of our family attractions in the land. So there'll be something for everybody to do here at Pantopia. And new to Pantopia is 3 new culinary offerings. Everything from snow cones to smoothies to pretzels, homemade, made right in front of you, pretzels with everything from stuffed sausages to cheese to pizza to everything, and it's really an amazing culinary delight for our guests to experience here in Pantopia. And also a brand new show is coming. It'll take over the new Pantopia Theater. It'll be indoors. It'll be our animal show, which used to be called Critter Castaway, which is outside. It's now moving to the indoor theater, which is now under renovation, and it'll be branded as our whole new show, all new creative that fits the theme of Pantopia. Where they would leave their transportation devices that they use to get here. So we have a hot air balloon, we have a tuk-tuk that'll be sitting here, actually with jewelry salesman inside the tuk-tuk, which is like a little metal 3-wheeled motorized bicycle. We have some rickshaws, and we have a plane. So, and there's actually a Jeep involved as well. So this is sort of where everything is left, because there's no need to take your travel equipment inside of Pantopia. You can just leave it right here. It'll be safe. Everything's cool in Pantopia. And here you'll see influence of design of automotive parts and pieces like hubcaps, wheels, bicycles that are used to decorate and enhance everything from planter walls to building facades all around you. So it's all sort of themed around transportation, which fits into the theme of our children's ride area around the corner, which are all transportation themed rides that will be coming back for the kids. Trains, planes, and motorcycles. Inside of the Painted Camel Bazaar. This is the main retail venue of Pantopia, and it's actually run by Aqua. them and bring them back here to the store. So the sign, you'll see the painted camel draped in his fabric with a monkey on top holding a key, and that is the story of the painted camel bazaar. So Akbar kind of gave up on this tourism business he had down there with tours he was selling. He's shut that business down, and now he's reopened his office and shop here. So I'm going to run through actually the images you see here, but everything you're seeing are actually physical props that were imported or constructed from historical reference photos to actually be used here in Pantopia. So I'm going to run through sort of clockwise here, talking about the buildings. This elevation is a hand-painted watercolor. These are some of the original designs that we did to share and convey what Pantopia could look like to our friends here at the park and our leadership and everywhere. So they got really excited about it. And it's actually everything's a color story now. Instead of the Western Moroccan or Western African style of Timbuktu, that's all gone as we explore new imaginative lands and more imaginative stories here at Busch Gardens Tampa, but all rooted in nature and discovery and animal stories, of course. You see the colors go from eggplant to cold to hot, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Cold is cold because that's actually operated by Frosty Christolis, who is a Greek who flew an airplane to Antarctica and back, and also the Arctic to explore the cold regions of the world. His plane came back to the transportation hub, couldn't get it started again, so he turned the plane into the sign for the store, and his plane, which was called Lynx Airlines, is now called Lynx Frozen Treats, which is a new culinary offering here at Pantopia. They sell smoothies and snow cones. And the color story starts to change, starts to get hot as we go into Komodo Dragon, red hot fireplates, which will then move right into our, can't see it here, you see it here, image later, moves right into our new outdoor grill, which will sell meat on sticks, kebabs, and that is the Dragon